Freedom Radio Hour. Live on Capital Radio 91.6 FM.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Freedom Radio Hour. I'm your host, Adam Cruz, and I'm here with my fantastic co-host right here.
Eddie Nicholas, what up, beautiful people, and welcome to 91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan, D-Wild Music Radio. We're so glad that you have decided to join us. What is up, Mr. Cruz?
I have to give you so much information. It's going to be one main topic today, but it's very important. But first, let us take a moment to let our listeners and our viewers know that the Freedom Radio Hour is here, not only giving you fantastic music, but we're here to be your number one source for music, business news, and trends from around the globe. All right, we got to jump right out front. There's a lot to cover just from this one topic. We need to go back to April.
Way back. Back into time. How far back are we going, Mr. Cruz?
We're going back to April of this year, where Universal Music Group, the umbrella organization for them, they're owned by Vivendi, right? Vivendi.
Oh,
with
Vivendi.
A V.
Oh.
Yes. And the Vivendi CEO, yes. Well, I'm about to kill you with the accent in a minute. So the Vivendi CEO, his name is Vincent Bolloré.
Oh, Bolloré.
And Mr. Bolloré has been taking the year to quietly boast among the upper echelons, the decision makers, and primarily the investors and capital and venture capitalists. He's been quietly boasting how Universal Music Group's value has been increasing at an astronomical amount, just some huge amount. So by the end of 2016, Universal Music Group was valued at around $16 billion.
Oh, I was going
would
to
it
say,
be?
it got to be billions. Would it be?
Yeah, 16 billion, right? Now, by April of 2017, Mr. Bolloré is going around town bragging to the upper echelons that Universal Music is more like $22 billion in value. So why
he added another four.
He added another some odd billions, right? So you kind of like side-eye this CEO for like, why are you doing that? Well, now we go further. Just now in this holiday season that's upon us, he's back at it again. Now he's saying that Universal Music Group is valued at more than $40 billion.
Oh, now it has doubled. Oh,
so
those
it's more
inflated numbers.
Yes, these inflated numbers, and I instantly thought about Tidal, the music streaming service. Do you remember when Jay-Z bought Tidal from the Norwegian firm?
And they gave him inflated numbers.
Yes, they sure did. Right around the time that this purchase happened, they were happy to boast 3 million paid subscribers on the Tidal service. You remember, Tidal is supposed to boast high-end streaming music, right? So like the Bose, you know how we have Bose speakers in the States? Evidently, Tidal is top. Yes, they're trying to be the top of the line in streaming, but Eddie and I laugh at that because for more money per month, you're still listening to the music using your main device, which is your phone or computer speaker, which is not top of the line. So you're paying for a high-end service, but not getting it through your speakers high-end, you know? Anyway, so Jay-Z buys Tidal and then they're boasting this 3 million paid subscribers. But when they did the auditing after he purchased it, and they really realized they realized the books were cooked, and they had more like 1 million paid subscribers. So that's a big problem because by and large, these purchases happen so that they could ready themselves to be merged or sold on to some other conglomerate. So that kind of killed some of Jay-Z's plans with Tidal. We'll have to see what happens with Tidal in the future. But when we're talking back to the story about Universal Music Group, Mr. Bolloré was quick to say, because somebody did ask him, listen, man, you sure you're valuing Universal Music Group at more than $40 billion? He goes, yes, I am. And I start to think, why is this man inflating these numbers?
Because the universe has allowed people to have alternative facts in their report.
That was one of my biggest points. You nailed it on the head. We're living in a post-facts era. That means that we're at the end of the year here. And so now in 2018, predictions are going to start to surface around what will it be like for the music business. Number one, we are going to be seeing more inflating numbers, cooking the books, publicizing figures that aren't actually accurate. To Eddie's very point, You're going to see more of this in 2018. Why? There's something at play here. It's not just to puff your chest if you're a Universal Music Group. There's a very specific thing that is occurring. Let me give you some more perspective before I give you the juicy details. So, with Universal Music Group valued at $16 million at the end of 2016, we have to look at the other two competitors. And we always talk about the three big record labels. That's Universal Music Group, like we just said, Sony Music, and Warner Music. Okay? So Warner just recently has touted that they're so excited that they've brought in over $3.5 billion.
They already have many billions.
So what I'm trying to say is that of the lot of the three, it seems as though Warner Music Group is at the bottom of that heap at $3.5 billion. Not bad though.
No.
Right? Sony Music, making sure that they're not far behind, has touted themselves at being valued at $19 billion.
I just love how all these companies just out-top each other with these numbers.
But anyway, there's an important reason why we're bringing this up. So Warner, $3.5 billion, Sony, $19 billion, and in April, like we discussed, Mr. Bolloré said Universal Music Group was valued at $22 billion. That was at the time. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to break down why all of these figures are important for you to know and how it's overall connected to some of the trends you'll be seeing in 2018 regarding the music business. Right here, where?
91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan, and dwildmusicradio.com. Freedom Radio Hour, y'all.
I know. We need one of them billions, though.
Oh, yeah. We could use more than one.
Come back with us.
Freedom Radio Hour. Live on Capital Radio 91.6 FM.
What up, beautiful people, and welcome back to 91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan, D-Wild Music Radio, 91.6 FM. See, I'm just going and feeding right back, but we're so glad that you came back. I'm here with my wonderful co-host, the one and only Mr.
Adam Cruz.
Yes.
And you're deep in the zone right here on the Freedom Radio Hour. We're your number one source for music business news and trends from around the globe. So we're breaking down the valuation of our three biggest record labels. Warner Music, who's happy to say they've earned $3.5 billion. You have Universal Music Group, who's saying they're at the top of the heap with $22 billion. And Sony Music saying that they've brought in $19 billion. So why are we talking about this? Well, just like I said before we broke, that just recently, Mr. Bolloré, who is the CEO of Vivendi owns Universal Music Group, he's saying, no, correction. Now that we're towards the end of the year, no, I think we're valued at more than $40 billion. So why is that happening, you might say? Well, it turns out that Mr. Bolloré has been hinting around the fact that Universal Music Group might be planning to be a publicly traded company in 2018. This is huge news. Let's break down what that means. So, you could be a privately owned company and decide to go public. When you go public, that means that you become a publicly traded and owned company. That's called an initial public offering, IPO. Now, we need to talk about it, though, because there's a big problem happening in the States regarding these IPOs, these publicly traded companies. So give you a little perspective. In 2014, we had several hundred that went towards public IPOs. In 2016, that number dropped. It went from 257 in 2014 to 106 in 2016.
And we're talking about just a variety of companies.
Yeah, these are privately owned companies that wish to go public. Why do companies like this want to go public? Because they're really about raising capital. And if you allow the public to trade on the stock market,
you could use their money.
You could use that money and raise capitals to deal with debt, pay off your investors, also leverage into new modes of income for your company. So there's a lot of reasons why that's advantageous. But one of the biggest things for you and I, the more IPOs that exist in the States, the better it is for middle class jobs. That's what this is all about. It's about jobs and a lot of jobs. Let me give you some perspective. When Microsoft went to become a publicly traded organization, at IPO, they were valued at $500 million and they had 1,153 employees. Today, That same company, Microsoft, is valued at $527 billion, and they have employed 114,000 people in
around
States.
the world and
around the world. Yes. So what we're trying to say is that IPOs are great for the economy because it's all about that jobs. It's all about jobs. So going back to Universal Music Group, the hint is that they are trying to become a publicly traded organization. And then what you'll see is Universal Music Group becoming this huge juggernaut over the top and creating jobs and adding influence. There's some interesting things that you should know about, though. Let's break this down even further. In general, there are less IPOs than ever before. Like we said, in 2014, they had 257. 2016, that dropped to over half at 106. Now, in 2017, only 52 have gone public. Why is this happening? Well, they're saying the big thing is regulations. There are too many regulations, and it's really expensive. On average, they're saying it costs a private company to go public over $3.3 million on average.
Well, why should that matter to a company that brings in billions of dollars?
Well, that's a great question. The answer to that is, instead of having to pay out those costs, they decide to keep their companies private
and spend other people's money.
And they take these sort of low-interest loans, and they can deal with it. Also, the other thing, too, is that while jobs used to be the biggest thing for IPOs, nowadays you don't really see that. Let me give you a case in point. Nike, the sneaker company, they are valued at like $30 billion. They have only 70,000 employees worldwide. That's actually not that much. Most of those people, they're saying, are in the retail stores. So in other words, they're saying that folks aren't really touching their hands on the production pieces of it. They outsource all of that.
Now, then again, like, is Nike like some of these other companies where people can come in and buy their own franchises or anything
I'm
like that?
not sure how all the particulars work, but I understand that everything is structured.
Like a McDonald's, you can buy your own McDonald's franchise.
Yes, I don't think it's quite like that.
Okay.
The way Nike works is that they take all of the production and manufacturing expenses and costs, and they outsource them out. And what happens is that 70,000 employees, they put them out to the retail stores. They have over 1,000, so that's a lot. And so it creates sort of a lean model. So when you're that lean, you don't have to go public. Because like I said, when you go public, you're really raising money, raising funds. They don't have to do that. They could take a low interest loan, or they could work with a private equity firm to raise capital. But I think what you're going to see now is this very interesting thing. We always have a problem when there's more of a consolidation of power. So now if Universal Music Group goes public, let's say it does go through and they go public in 2018, now we're left with two, Sony and Warner. What do you think is going to happen with those two left over now? You know what I'm saying? Because now it becomes very interesting. The other side of the coin I want to break down. Yeah, tell me your thoughts.
I guess they will follow suit with what especially if they see that Universal is making money. If they see Universal is making money, they are most definitely going to follow that plan.
But what if Universal has a couple of lean years and doesn't make quite as much? Those stockholders, how do you think they're going to feel? Let's take a break. Let's break it down when we come back.
91.6 FM. I know I will be pissed.
Yes. DWOWmusicradio.com. Come back with us.
Freedom Radio Hour.
And we're back live on Capital Radio 91.6 FM and on the web at DWOWmusicradio.com. You're deep in the zone right here on the Freedom Radio Hour. I'm here with my fantastic co-host,
Eddie Nicholas. What a beautiful people, and welcome back to 91.6 FM.
Yes.
Let's jump right back.
We have to get right back to it, yes. So Universal Music Group has been touting and bragging all year that they are valued at higher and higher numbers throughout the year. So April, they said, we're worth $22 billion. Now they're saying they're worth over $40 billion. Why are they doing that? We've uncovered it. It doesn't take much. We've realized that they're probably preparing themselves to go public, become an IPO, initial public offering. To do that, they have to make sure that they make it look like they have a lot of value, that they're worth a lot, so that it becomes increasingly evident that they should go public.
And it allows people to tune in, and it shows people that they are worth to invest their money with.
Yes. So the advantages is it's a great job creator. As we talked before, at one time, post 1970, 92% of job creation happened from companies post IPO. So that was a good look. But now we're saying that these companies like Nike, as a prime example, have less employees than they probably used to back in the day because they're operating on a more lean model because they're outsourcing a lot of the production, right? So this becomes an issue when you think about Universal Music Group going public. On the upside, you're going to look to a lot of jobs in the music business because, like I said, the job creation is really huge. So you may find yourself looking for a Universal Music Group job if you're in the music business in the States and around the globe because they're going to need to staff up. That's for sure. But on the downside, it's always cute when you make a lot of money. But what happens when you have some lean years? What happens when, say, streaming, while it's been a champion as the future of music, what happens if it takes a downturn in favor of something else that these companies haven't grabbed on yet? Then what?
Then they go to the bank for a loan.
Listen, it all brings me down to this thing. So how is this related to you and I as a more independently minded musician? I think we have to pay attention to what's happening to our three biggest labels. Mostly because what they do, to a certain degree, dictates how we react on the independent scale. You see, to our point about the stock market, the less IPOs that happen in 2017, the less liquid exists in the market. You need small and medium-sized privately owned businesses to go public as much as you need the huge juggernauts to go public because you need liquid in the market as well. So the less small and medium-sized businesses means less liquidity. That's the same as it applies in this other example with the labels. If we have all our consolidation of power at the top, you have less liquidity because we can't compete depending on what happens in the market.
And when we're talking about liquidity and all that type of stuff, we're talking about money, cash flow.
Yeah, cash flow, because you need to be able to, they always say I need move around money. That's like not to pay down debt, just to move from here to there.
And that's exactly what it is, move around money, all this internet moving around money. And that's how these people get all these fantastical monumental incomes when you talk about these billions of dollars. But you sit there and say, well, where are all these billions and billions of dollars coming from? And
well,
can you just imagine what your bank is $30 billion? My God.
I hear you. I argue that part of that money is from that fraction of a penny per stream they're paying us in general as an industry, because who gets the lion's share of the income if not these labels? That's why YouTube keeps saying, Go search out your labels to see why you're not getting more, because we're paying it out. The proof is here. Now that these labels want to go public, they're boasting $40 billion in value. How come we're not getting a better wage as artists? I'm not a Universal Music Group artist.
But I would be pissed if I was.
Exactly. And it's also a comment on what's going to happen on the independent side, because we tend to react to that.
And and now that you bring that up, this company is breaking in $40 billion, yet we're only getting $1,000+ on streams and all that kind of craziness.
Right. Like, why is that?
Why is that?
Exactly.
Yes.
So we'll have to find out in the coming months. But I think it's important for us to talk about this because it has everything related to do with what we're doing here on the independent side. And
politics and music do go hand in hand.
Yes. And whatever they do with this added money, say Universal Music Group does, it's
not coming to you.
No. But they will be offering up different ways to utilize the music and exploit it all that you and I on the independent side might take cues from and apply it on our own level.
And what I strongly suggest is if it does go into public domain, if you got some public offering, invest.
Yes, I was just going to say that as my last point. And he always says, not only Universal Music Group, if and when they decide to go public, they say it's in 2018. Also look for Spotify. They have been making a lot of hints that they too plan to go public in 2018. You have two big music-related companies that you, as a music business enthusiast, might think about buying some shares into. Because you have Spotify, who's growing by leaps and bounds, and you have Universal Music Group, who, according to them, has more than doubled their next competition, Sony.
And as I always say, you got to be at the table to make decisions. And if you are an investor and you put your shares in, you have a say-so. And as an artist sometimes and most often we are not at that table.
Right.
By having a share in the stakes of these companies, we now have a say in how we are to get paid.
I agree. That's all the time we have today, but stay tuned because we're going to be talking more about what you can do to create an action plan for the new year to make sure that you have your music business a little bit tighter.
I know I need one. I'm a mess. I'm not going to lie. I got to get it together. And if we're telling you, you should too.
Yes. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check us out at freedomradiohour.com. Leave a comment under everything we're posting. We'd love to hear from you. Download our free app for Android and iPhone users at Google Play and the App Store. Of course, check out EddieNicholas.com for his fantastic music. Check out DJAdamCruz.com for more of mine. And of course, have a great weekend and a great week ahead. We'll see you next time.
Peace and love. 91.6 FM, the Heartbeat of Sudan, DWildMusicRadio.com, and the FreedomRadioHour.com.
Yes.
We love you.
Love you. Love you for listening. Peace.
Thank you.